So, how are you going with your prep?
Yeah, good. I think I've transcribed what I think I want to do. I'm actually thinking what I would like to do now that I've got a bit better of an understanding. I'd like to do rapport and sensory acuity because I think I'd like to do rapport and sensory acuity because I think it would be really useful here.
Do either of them have a demo?
Yeah, the first one does. So I know that I've got to pick one with a demo.
Let me just get my...
So I've printed this off, which is the thing that you gave to Kelsey. And then looking in, so sensory acuity is a demo and rapport is not a demo.
Now, I'll just let you know, the difficulty with these two subjects is having enough content to meet the time requirement.
Right.
Because your content needs to be a minimum of 20 minutes, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, I've transcribed them. I haven't done the format because I just wanted to check with you. So I've just started with the sensory acuity one last night just to format it. So I might just look at what the crux of the information is and then see if I can expand and work with that.
Yeah, it's minimum 20 minutes of content.
Okay, for each one.
Don't forget that does not include your demo. It's not in 20 minutes.
No, that's a side sweat. Yeah,
so it's
okay.
Why, what, how, what if only.
Yeah, well, I wonder if I'm better to go back.
People do it. They're in there as presentations, but it's not that easy because you would, in your trainer's training, you'll be presenting for longer than you would if you were running it in a training.
All right, well, I'll have a little think.
And it's also about the cadence in which you talk. So if you talk quickly, you're gonna be short on time.
Okay, well, let me with that just to have a little think about. They're already done, but I'm doing more work tonight. So every night I just do a couple of hours work on it.
Well, I think about what of that content are you actually going to be delivering in your role?
Yeah.
So rapport, definitely.
Yeah.
Sensory acuity, I don't know how relevant that is to your workplace, because then it becomes easier because you actually know what you want to communicate to your audience.
What about perceptual positions? All right, leave it with me, because what I'm also doing is I'm up to number 6 again, and I'm going through all of the prac audios. So I'm up to 6 at the moment. So I'm on a task to have the first round of that completed by this weekend. So I'm just listening to 2 to 3 a day just to get through that first bit and then concentrate a little bit more. So I'm looking at that.
Do you need to review all of your prac and master prac audios anyway?
I need to do the prac. I do. Yeah.
For what purpose?
I need it to come back into the front of my mind.
For what purpose?
Doubt.
So doubt has got nothing to do with re-listening to prac. Doubt has to do with getting rid of the limiting belief that is the doubt.
Yeah. Because
listening to them again isn't necessarily going to get rid of the doubt.
Yeah. Well, it's just a doubt that it's not. I think just around how I was when I did the courses, I was in a really shit place. So It was amazing, but I'd like to look at them. What I'd like to do is I'd like to listen to them through now. And I'm actually finding them super effective because I'm actually looking at them in a whole new light. And I'm looking at them not so much for me, but I'm looking at them for out.
Yeah,
and it's a complete shift for me. So yeah.
So, and the reason I ask is are you going to leave yourself short so that when you're in the training, you're freaking out because you haven't left enough time to do the things you're actually going to be assessed on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I have done.
It's a lot of hours of audios.
Yeah, it is a lot of hours of audio. But even, I'm looking at them. So I'm actually looking at, like, when I'm doing the audios, I'm actually doing them when I'm exercising. So I'm not doing anything anyway out there. So this morning, yesterday I was at the gym and I sat on the bike. What else are you going to do? So I just sat and watched that. This morning I did a walk around the lake. I listened to another audio. So I'm actually utilizing all my exercise tunes. So it's nothing that I would be doing anyway. So I'm just using that time more productively.
Did you choose rapport and sensory acuity as a result of listening to the audios?
No, I didn't. I actually looked at the list, and I looked at what is happening here at the moment, and the fact that there are so many people that are internalized, and it would be great if we can actually get people to expand to see others. And that's why I chose that.
We're talking about at work or at home?
At work.
Okay. So
the simplistics of the simplistics and the fundamentals of standing in front of another person.
I'm not sure. I mean, I can see how sensory acuity may be useful. Rapport is about us getting what we want out of other people. So that's still internal. Unless we have something that goes along with it, and it doesn't give us any understanding of ourselves other than building the skills to be able to do rapport effectively. Right? So perceptual positions is a good one for the purpose that you're talking about. Meta model and reframing are probably going to be more beneficial for you to get the result you want.
Yeah.
So meta model, we ask the questions of ourselves before we ask them of others in the learning of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And I want to do something. I want to do something that that's going to be really, like, all of it's effective for here, but I want to do something that really I can see the use here for it.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I think about doing one that you're going to find that you think is going to be quite easy for you. I think about the other one being one that is actually part of your learning that you need to learn better for yourself, because you'll know like the back of your hand.
Yeah, and meta model, you're right, meta model is one of them.
By the time you do it over and over and over and over and over again, you will absolutely know it inside out.
And that's what I really want. I want to utilize this as a really good tool for learning. Yeah. Okay. Well, how about I do...
Whether it's Milton model, meta model, or reframing, all of those will be really good for your workplace. So even the Milton model and understanding the complex equivalent cause and effect, and how we talk to ourselves, because what we say causes an impact on us.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
It is reinstalling our limiting beliefs and our decisions.
Yeah. Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll have a closer look at Meta and Milton. They're both on program 9. I might actually listen to program 9 this afternoon just while I'm doing my walk, and then I might actually make a decision on those two. Yeah, based on it.
And even the meta programs, because when you do your presentation, you can't do all the meta programs because it takes too long. you could only choose like a maximum of like 8 of them, which explain. So you could choose ones that are going to be most effective for people to understand around how they operate and the fact that other people operate differently to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that just gives me better guidance. And then would you say, so choosing that, they don't have a demo in them.
Oh,
so yeah, they don't have a demo in them. So maybe do the sensory acuity to have the demo.
Or is there something else? What about perceptual positions to have the demo?
Yeah, maybe I'll look at that. So that's 7. I'm moving into 7 anyway. So I'll have a look at 7 and 9. I'm just flagging that for myself.
Because perceptual positions will have more benefit to achieve what you want to achieve about them stepping outside of themselves.
Yeah, it's the fly on the wall. Have a look at this coming down. Yeah,
but it's
exactly.
all
Well, that's what I
about
think too.
stepping into them.
Yeah.
Like we have to step into them.
Yeah.
And
okay.
they say what, and they say to us what we think they're trying to say. So when you do that process with someone you're in conflict with, you get that they're having difficulty. They're actually not saying what they want to say. They're protecting themselves with their outburst or whatever it may be. But really what they're trying to say to us is, it hurts me when you say blah, because I feel shit about myself because I don't believe that I'm good enough. And
yeah, exactly. Okay. No, well, that puts me on a better guide, I think. Yeah, I do. And I think
make it really meaningful for you.
This is what I want to do. I definitely want to do. And what I chose last time was I chose mapping across and contrastive analysis last time. And that doesn't resonate with me for this.
No, and I think you chose them because you thought that would be easy.
Probably. Yeah. So I think definitely. I'll have a look at program 7 and 9. I'll do those ones next.
And even the reframing is context and content reframe only. Right? And they're also really powerful.
Yeah.
So if you can reframe someone and have it really hit home.
Exactly right.
It will create change.
Well, it changes communication models.
Well, it changes them internally.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it automatically creates a new neural pathway that didn't exist before. Because something that is impossible is possible.
Yeah. So that sounds good. Okay, well, let's do that. The good thing is that it was a lot easier for me to understand the system of Otter AI. I did the transcribes in 2 seconds, like without being so confused and fucked up about it all. So yeah, that's a really easy thing for me to do. The other thing that I've already done is I found the prac answers and the master prac answers. So I've got those sitting there. I completed, so I'm breaking down the exam into 4 sections. I don't want to have yours. I want to do this myself.
Recording.
What's that?
So talk about what you're going to do to prep for your test. So you found your prac and master prac
answers.
Yep,
and I found them.
Got all the references for where you didn't get full marks on those.
Yep. So I'm going through those. What I have done is last night I've done the section 1. So I'm actually chunking them into 4 sections. So I'm just doing, I think there's 78 questions in total. So I'm doing around either 20 or 19 questions. So I've done the first one and I've just written down the question, the answer for the first 20. Tonight, I'm actually going to record that onto an audio so it's ready to go. Tomorrow night, I start section 2. So I'm kind of like, you'll probably just go, who are you now? But I've just done so this is May and April. I've got permission to do May. So And I've actually got the whole planning procedure done.
Yeah.
So the audios that I want to listen to, the exam portions, the trainer study, like everything's written down. And then I've actually got when I'm listening. So the month of May is about finalizing the format, finalizing, I've pulled together my metaphors from hypno training, the 3-day training, plus the ones that I've done recently, so that I've actually got some things to play with, because I don't know exactly what I'm going to need. And then I've actually got, I'll be listening to the exam 1, exam 2, exam 3, exam 4 for the 4 weeks of May prior to attending. And then the last week before I start on the Thursday, I'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4 over the 4 days before I attend. So,
well, and you can listen to them during the training. We don't do the exam in the first 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, right. I didn't know that.
The last 4 days is your assessment.
Oh, I thought the exam was the first day. Oh, that's awesome too. Okay. Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. Yeah.
And your presentations will probably change significantly over the course of the training.
Yeah. And that's why I just kind of thought that the more stuff I have and the more prepped I am now, you know, I don't need to live hard, and we've worked that out. So I'm just getting everything sorted and organized, and it feels like it's right this time because none of it is problematic. It's all flowing. It's almost like I have a purpose for it. Whereas I felt before, I wasn't ready. So it's good. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm doing.
Good. Yeah, I did a similar thing where I had a bit of a program around, okay, so by then I need to have this completed. By then I want to have this completed. So, which is awesome. So just make sure you don't have an attachment when you feel your presentation is complete. It's only complete for the beginning of the training.
Oh my gosh, I know that the whole thing is going to be flipped 180 degree. I am 100% certain of that. So this is like if I was starting kindergarten and going to year 12 at the graduation, I'm starting at kindy.
Yeah. So it's just have it how you think it should be, knowing that it will shift a lot. Now, and as you do your why specifically for the audience that you will be presenting to, which is your workplace. It's not the NLP trainers training participants.
No.
It's actually your workplace.
And it's just naturally occurring where I'm really starting to notice the complications that we're having here from a foundation level and looking at how this can actually, I even had a conversation with somebody from HR this morning in the kitchen, just going, they were like, oh, I've got this case, blah, blah. And I just went, well, have you actually thought of X, Y, and Z? And it was just the basics of flexibility. How do you bring around both parties to flexibility, when there's a black and white history? So we talked about that, and I said something like, have you asked them, what do they enjoy about their work? And he said, yeah, well, we've talked about what do you like about your job? And I'm like, job and work are different. I said, job is...
Depends on the individual.
Yeah. I said, what you want to do is you want to find out what lights that person up with the work that they do.
So the question is, why do you do what you do? Because then they can make it their job, their work, their career.
And that's flexibility.
Their business, they can define it however they want.
That's great.
Whereas if we specify, then we take them out of one and into another, potentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the other thing is, I would like to see you be rid of whatever it is that prevents you from saying you need to go and do this training. Because that's a big block for you.
It is. Yeah, it is.
It's a big block. And there's some reflection back on you that you're holding on to that is not true.
Mm. Yeah, there is a big block there. So I don't know what that's all
because
about.
if everyone in your organization that you was in your teams and in your HR had prac level training, your world would be a completely different place.
Mm.
And you could be running refreshers on the content in those specific areas. You could go, right, well, the barrier is what I'm noticing is people aren't taking the time to build rapport. You guys know this, so I'm going to run a review on how to build rapport.
Mm. Yeah, and it's heavy on my chest. It's like we're talking about it.
You're the one who are leading. You're the one who's leading, keeping everyone aligned because you know what they know. And it takes away all of their excuses for not demonstrating, walking the talk.
Mm. Yeah, and that's something that
makes your job harder by not having that. And somewhere there's got to be difficulty.
Mm. Yeah, and I'm not quite sure what that is, but it is definitely there.
Yeah, absolutely. That if other people have the training, it means you're less than in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, and okay. So
because that's part of your superpower in that place is that you have something they don't.
Mm.
Okay. But you will always have stuff they don't.
It's not about that. It's actually, I don't think it's about that. There's something to do with the installation process. I don't know. Anyway, I'll think about that and write it. I think I've got some insight into how I came to be here. And it's that it's weird. Yeah, it's, you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Not really, but I know that you know. So the other thing I'm going to encourage you guys to do is to start getting rid of your limits. So anything that comes up that is a doubt, all doubts are limiting beliefs. We know that, right? You're all stepping out of your comfort zone to a degree. So if there aren't doubts, then you're not stepping out far enough. Yeah. So because this is the opportunity to get rid of them. Like really, go hard or go home. And as I say on the service team, if you're not being triggered, you're not investing enough in the outcomes. So we want every possible limiting decision or limiting belief or negative emotion or fear, there could be fear of success, there could be fear of failure, there could be whatever, it doesn't matter. But we want it all to come up. And it should start coming up during your prep.
Well, it's already. Yeah. The organisation staff is all it's all good, but now that we're actually talking on the phone, this is what's, it's just a lot of it to do with me is that I might be limiting beliefs. yeah, just around how I came to you and what that journey was, you know, and that it just didn't make me feel great.
Yeah, so you did it as part of a personal development journey. You didn't do it as a professional development journey. So whereas a lot of people come as a professional development journey and have a personal experience, right? There are other people who come for personal development, but then never want to apply it in a professional environment. But you've done it as a personal development journey, and you did it for personal development. And now you're in a situation where you're going, I can actually use this in a professional capacity, but I haven't learned it for that purpose. So there's a belief somewhere inside of you that you can't transition what you know into this environment.
Yeah.
But you can, because it's actually you. It's not a separate part of you. And without it, you would never have applied for this position in the first place. And you've also noticed how much you are applying it in this workplace. Every time you have a conversation with people, you're reframing, you're, going down to the deeper structure, you're going, oh, this is the result of not having enough rapport, or, you're utilizing your sensory acuity when you're interacting with people and you're reading between the lines.
Yeah.
Right. So you actually are straddling it, you are transitioning it across because it's part of you. But this training is what you need to solidify that for you. Because your thinking is now, you're not doing the diploma for you, you're doing it so you can apply it in this specific environment.
Yeah. Well, and I'm being supported by the environment.
Yeah.
To get it.
Yeah, you don't have to do it as a lone person, a lone practitioner. And Prac and Master Prac are one-on-one. So you could utilize that in your practice. Now you're working with groups.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's just, there's some things there. There's definitely some things there. But it'll, it's all gonna be. I'm not
Up to light.
Yeah. I'm not really I'm not overwhelmed like I was before.
Yeah, and when you were overwhelmed before, you thought you were doing it at the end of the fucking year. And you were worried about being ready. And now it's like, oh, well, it's right here now. It's not out there. And so got to get my shit together. So I'll just get my shit together.
What even is that? This is nuts. It's just like it's all just happening. Even my space on the weekend. So my desk and dual monitors and everything, they were sitting out in that lounge area in the middle of everything, and it was just like so intrusive, and it took over at the three of our spaces. And I was like, I can't do this. I need my little den. I need my little private, I need my retreat for all my things. So I moved my bed up against the wall because I'm like, well, there's only one person getting in one side. The dogs jump. So I moved it over to the wall, moved my chest of drawers over. So now that's the side table, and my desk and my monitors and everything are in my bedroom, but they're in a really good position where they're not looking at me at the bed. So they're looking at the door. And it's so organized. And I've actually got I've got the entire section for NLP. I've got the entire section for my work stuff, and everything's just weirdly come together. And I've been working in there this week, and it just feels brilliant.
And that'll be perfect until just before Poppy moves out.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
that's it.
And then you'll start getting uncomfortable, and which is fine for a short period of time. Poppy will move out, and then you'll probably put your office in her room.
Or I might be moving into a new house.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to look at a house this weekend.
Ah, awesome.
Just to see, just a little thought.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
just see.
Although if you move into a new house now, you have to accommodate Poppy.
Yeah, but it's got room for that.
And then what happens? If she gets too comfortable, will she move out still?
She won't get too comfortable, because where I'm looking at is Murray Bateman.
Ah, which will be fine for you. Yeah. Wow, that's a bit exciting.
Just a thought, like it's just sort of just starting to think about it, and it's just a different sort of way of thinking.
Yeah, because Jess will she'll be getting her Ps. So she'll be able to drive herself in and out and all of that kind of stuff.
Yep. And it's on 8,000 squares. Yeah. So so we'll see what happens. It's just a thought process at the moment, but I'm starting to think about it. So yeah, the people, my friends that have the house that I've moved into, they've split. So they're formally split now. So it's almost like things are just starting. I'm not in a rush. I'm just sort of following and trusting where I'm meant to be and what I'm meant to be doing, and I'm just doing it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So back to your prep.
Yep.
Did I tell you how to study, like with it up to you in your visual recall?
Yeah, so that was one of the things that I looked at. It was really interesting. It was so funny with my visual recall. I actually think I'm reversed organized. I think from memory, that's what I was in the course. And I was trying to remember I was going through the questioning last night, but then I started looking at, so it was weird. When I write things and I need things to come from somewhere else, I actually look bottom left. So I have a feeling that, because what's the normal organized? Normal organized is, so the C comes before R. So it goes visual construct, auditory construct.
Not when I'm looking at you.
I'm looking at it from the sheet of paper.
Okay, so if you're looking at the sheet of paper, visual recall, recall is on the right.
Okay.
If you're looking at somebody,
yeah, that's right, it is. Yep.
Organized, recall is on the right, and construct is on the left.
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So
which
if
means,
you're doing it for yourself,
which means your K is on the left and your AD is on the right.
K, no, when you're looking at them, K is on the left.
Yes, and AD is on the right. Yep.
So
recall, that's
right. AD, construct, K.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you say something to yourself in your head, where do you go?
There.
Okay, which is auditory digital.
Yeah.
Which is normally organized.
Which is left bottom corner.
But when I look at you, you
right.
go down to your right.
Yeah.
When I look at you, so that's auditory digital.
Yeah, I got confused with it all again. I was just like, I remember this being confusing for me.
Yeah. So that's why we never try to work out our own eye patterns. We only ever do it for others. And you get somebody else to do it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So when I walk into a room and I've forgotten what I go there for, I look up and to my left, which is your right. I'm going into my visual recall.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I need to think about that.
So, but we do it for others. So you're normally organized.
Mm.
Okay, so your visual recall is up and to your left.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, so I've got it written. It is actually, you've actually put it in there in the study notes for where the eye patterns need to be. So, yeah, so I've got that as well as part of the plan.
Yeah.
Would you?
So also think about your business plan. So come with that, you know, it's kind of prepared.
Okay, that's that last page, yeah. Okay.
And this can relate to your employment. This is not about starting your own business.
No, this is me with this work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So important that you have your mission and your values.
Yeah, well, what I might also do then is because I've just completed my PDs and my professional development review forms, so I might actually have a look through that while I'm actually doing it, so I can actually look for the next 12 months as to what my goals are, what I want to achieve, and then I can actually just pop it into there, because pretty much a similar thing, really.
Well, although that'll only cover you short term. The next 12 months is short term.
Yeah, but we also have to do 2, 5, and 10-year projections.
Yeah, medium term.
Mm-hmm.
So from 1 year to, say, 3 years, and then from 4 years on, or you can do from 2 years to 5 years, and then 5 to 10.
Yeah.
But you
So
don't
I've had
out that far.
Yeah.
I mean, long term can be 5 years.
Yeah, that's right. So okay, so that sounds
Short term could be year 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Or it could be then from 4 till 6 or.
Yeah. And that's something that I'm just still working out, because I'm only here a year, right? This is a whole, like, I'm adulting now. I've been adulting for like a year.
So, and you may, I mean, your long-term plan may be, because you've mentioned it before, around contracting yourself back to that workplace as a consultant, as opposed to an employee, or developing a program that you can on-sell to other universities for the role that you're currently in.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah. So I'll run training for you, but you might be able to do that as an employee of the university and be contracted from your university to other universities to run training, you know, so that everybody has inbuilt into their, what section are you in? What do you call it?
Injury prevention.
So in injury prevention, you can go, okay, well, I'll go to UC and I will train up their injury prevention team in the structures that we use to get really excellent results. I'll go to Griffith University and I'll train up their injury prevention team on how to implement the structures that we have built that work.
Yeah. And I think that that's one of the things, Dan, is in relation to organisation, because I've been in private practice for so long, in a tiny little room, in a little, you know, I feel like as far as the organisation structure and my potential, I feel as though I've got these really tight little boundaries, because I don't know it's all new. So I don't really...
I mean, maybe part of it, the projection into the future, is that every injury prevention team has its own therapist who can do what you do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could be sitting in your role and go, we need to employ someone who has the body knowledge that I have within our team, working internally, rather than referring out to therapists that you don't know. You don't know what they're saying to the workers, right? You don't know how they operate. You know, they may want them to stay unwell, so they keep getting fucking paid.
Yeah.
So making sure that everyone who's working with your workforce is aligned in their thinking and aligned to the outcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that could also be through doing interviews and, having case case conferences and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways to do it.
Yeah. And that's some of the stuff that I'm still working through.
Yeah. And having someone on staff who is a coach. And all of your case management team have coaching qualifications of some sort. So you know that they all should be getting the same outcomes.
Yeah, well, it's almost like flipping from support to empowerment.
And making it safe for people to recover, because realistically, like we talk about in the training with PTSD, what's the purpose in them recovering? They then get exposed again to the thing that gave them PTSD in the first place. There's a safety in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So looking at those sorts of things, and you're right. Like, I think I don't think I'm looking at what I'm doing with a clear enough lens. I think I'm underselling the role that I'm doing. Yeah, I really am. And
I think part of that is not having the right people in your team who you can delegate to with trust, because you're still responsible for coaching them and training them yourself. So you haven't yet got the space you need to go to that higher level of strategic thinking and expansion, because it's still the day-to-day at the moment. Each day you've got to deal with, what comes up or what came up the day before. Or
but there is also things that are actually happening. There is a shift that's happening as well. So because I've been here, the workstation health and work health, it's because I'm out there so much with different people and individuals helping and talking about injuries and all sorts of different things. That's expanded. So I'm doing probably 12 assessments a week now.
And you need someone else to do that.
Yeah, it's just massive. But I do have a team. I've actually got an Oslo team of about 86 people. So, but that's where the engagement has dropped. And I do 4 forum sessions a year. And this is where I'm bringing in empowerment things and how, so that my next forum, which is in June, is actually called the Accidental Coach. So I'm actually doing, so you're a workstation assessor, but I'm actually doing about what are the types of questions that we can actually ask that help empower a person towards their wellness. So I'm creating that. So I'm looking at those.
That's where the reframing stuff will be super powerful.
Yeah, which will be great.
Super powerful.
Yeah, so I think I know that when I come out of the training, I know that I'm going to think completely differently. So there's these things, and these are the types of things that I'm actually doing to change. Yeah, so but at the moment it's about bringing it back alive again, and that's why I'm out there with so many different individuals, because they did, like, that's what they said. They said, be the face of injury prevention. So that's what I've done. But now I'm getting, I've got whole teams that are like, we need individual assessments. And I'm like, well, no, what I'm actually doing now is I'm actually doing half an hour presentations at team meetings to empower people to make the changes within themselves. And then if there's any specific injuries, then I'll tap into that.
Yeah. Yes. So, but you still need to train up others to be able to do the workplace assessments, the individual ones, because as you are presenting at the team meetings, there's going to be more demand. because you're empowering people to say what they need.
And that's what's happening. That's what's happening.
Yes. So it's this ripple effect, which is then, but in actual fact, what it's doing is it's creating an opportunity for you to then go, actually, do you know what? Your connection needs to be through me to my team.
Well, that's what I'm.
Yeah, and then the team,
that's what I'm doing.
A resource, and it's a transference of rapport that, and then that allows you to go, this is friggin' awesome. Now I can focus on, you know, what I want to incorporate into that training. Now I can actually, maybe we need to do 6 forums a year instead of 4, where I can upskill and empower my team more, so that we can achieve more. Exactly. Because as people see the benefit in what you're offering, more people are going to want access to it.
Well, this is what's already happening. And that's why I've just started in the last couple of days to implement a different strategy, because I can't keep up with the demand of the individual. So I'd rather speak to the group, and I've got all of the different things that people like, have a buddy. So after COVID, increasing communication and connection and things like that. So by training the people to help their buddy, we're making that positive change and creating teams again.
So long as they have the training required to be a buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we all know sometimes those relationships can actually be really negative, because they can feed off one another.
Yeah, totally. So just looking at those sorts of things and looking at how I can actually just be more effective and in more places without being burnt out.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at how to do it smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my world. But I'm excited. I'm excited about doing this, and it's just kind of happening. But there are some blocks, there are some limitations, there are some things that are going on.
Yeah. So I think what I'll do is I'll set up a group in Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Tina and Kelsey. What's that?
Oh, sorry. I'm not on social. But that's okay.
Right. But that's okay. You can set up a new account.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be reactivating your old account.
Yeah.
Right. And it's only for the purpose of that group.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Or I could set it up on a different platform. I could set it up on WhatsApp.
WhatsApp would be amazing if the others would be okay with that.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they'll be absolutely fine.
I just don't want, it's not healthy for me.
Yeah, you get sucked in. Okay, get rid of that belief too.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, so I'll set up a WhatsApp group. I want you guys to start reaching out to each other with the stuff you need to be rid of.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So we will do a lot of it. Well, we will do some of it at the training, but there will be specific things that I will be telling you have to do, as far as chains of anchors and stuff like that. But they're specific to presenting. Okay. But the stuff that's coming up in the meantime, don't save it for the next couple of months.
No. Plus, it's also a really good thing to be able to just do the processes as well.
It's also going to help you when you have to do your demos.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So as far as, your demos go, I mean, you may get asked to do a demo that is not one of your presentations. Okay. So you need to be across your demos.
Yeah. I feel what you did there.
I mean, because if 2 of you are doing only one topic that has a demo, you won't both be doing the same demo.
No.
Right. So, for example, if you're doing meta model and you're doing sensory acuity and someone else is doing sensory acuity, There's not even anything that I can give you that is similar to either of those as a demo.
Yeah, it'll be outside the box.
Yeah, it'll be totally outside the box.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But if you're doing something like sensory acuity and someone else is doing sensory acuity, I could give you eye patterns as a demo.
Something that's related. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Something that falls within this.
Strategy elicitation, like they're the ones that I think would be closest to something like sensory acuity.
Yeah. And they're all things, because I haven't, because I'm in here and not doing those procedures and processes, because my work, my business is part-time now. And it's a lot more cranio than it is NLP techniques, and it's more hands NLP techniques.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is,
got to get that.
You could start eliciting people's eye patterns and strategies at work.
Well, that's
How
what I'm
did
going
you
to do.
decide this job was for you? And so,
Yeah.
tell me the first thing that happened. Was it something you saw, something you heard, or something you said to yourself? Like, I fucking hate this job. I need to get another job. Right? What was the very next thing that happened? Or I love that necklace you're wearing. Did you buy that yourself? Were you by yourself when you bought it? What was the very first thing that happened for you to know that was the necklace for you?
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, great stuff.
And it's so much fun. Like, it's just like, oh, was that visual? I think that's AD, internal. That's auditory, external, because some people have to speak to the shop assistant, because then their strategy. And then when you're explaining something to them, you construct it to go with their strategy, and they will absolutely buy whatever opinion or whatever you're selling to them, because that's their decision-making strategy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you a way that you will just, you'll be able to see, and it's going to sound amazing to you, and it's going to feel really right. Do you want to hear it? And they'll go, yeah, of course I want to hear it. And then you do it in the order. I'm going to show you, like, this is how we do it, and you show it, and then you go to the auditory, tonal. Okay, so now I'm going to explain to you what we just did. But if they're auditory first and then visual, you explain it to them first and then you show them, because it's how they're going to absorb the information best. Yeah. It's going to be so much fun. You're going to love it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to.
You can't make mistakes because you can always rearrange the order.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to doing that. Yeah, just having a play.
Yeah,
having a play.
Curiosity and the willingness to experiment.
Yeah,
it's what it is. That's how we describe NLP.
Yeah,
Curiosity and the willingness to experiment.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the latest, you'll love this, because I have a quote board that my boss gave me, because I write quotes on the board every day. So I have one that starts, anybody that walks past our team sees the quote board first. So the latest one that I had up there, be curious, not furious.
I love that.
So, and it's just had and people are now commenting on the different things, and they'll actually add things, except in this instance, or, whatever, but it's got people collaborating.
Yeah, except in this instance, and you could write, well, what would happen if you chose to be curious instead?
Yeah.
And because then they actually have to try it out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
To go inside and go, okay, well, let me be curious about, okay, well, this is what would happen instead.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, just posing questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, actually. That's seed planting.
Yeah, because you're just reframing immediately. It's just a reframe.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Simple little reframe.
Yeah, and, I love that.
Instead, they always have to try it on.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. So yeah, so that's kind of where it's at. I still, wake up and go, well.
Well, see, this is the thing. Now that you know you're doing it in May, you are looking at work differently. Well, okay, how could I apply this? How could I apply that? Oh, I'm going to practice this. I'm going to practice that. Or, now that you're re-listening to all the audios as well, it's refiring your memory. And even though it's refiring, oh, well, my experience was, but because of your environment, you are automatically going, well, how can I apply that? Yep. Or where would that be useful in this environment? Which is awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, no, it's really, really good. And on an aside, in relation to Jess, my youngest.
We're recording.
Yeah, that's okay.
I know. Well, if we're finished talking about the training.
Yeah, I'm done with training
off
now.
the recording.
Okay, it's done.
Not everybody needs to know or hear about or care about.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
All right. So we'll close off the recording and I'll post this.
Yep.
And then we're chatting.
Yeah, sounds good.